A new tactic to stop violent crime in Indianapolis neighborhoods coming up. The unexpected source now offering its help to the 10-point coalition. Plus, new allegations from a man who was pushed over in his wheelchair by a Lafayette police officer. Why he's filing a new complaint in the case.
And if you've enjoyed the spring-like temperatures, we'll have another day of that, but we do have some changes on the way. I'll have the details coming up in your SkyTrack 13 forecast.
From Indiana's news leader, Eyewitness News Sunrise starts now.
Good morning and welcome to our 7 o'clock hour of Sunrise. I'm Naomi Peskovitz here with Kelly Green, and we hope that you got to enjoy the day yesterday. It was beautiful, it was sunny, and it was just perfect. It was a perfect Saturday, one I feel like we deserved because of all the cold we've been seeing.
Yeah, it definitely was. It was nice to even have the windows down in the car. So
yeah.
It was a nice break from the winter-like conditions. If you've had the winter blues, you definitely have had to enjoy these spring-like temperatures. Of course, they're not going to last, but we are going to see another day of mild temperatures before some changes move in. We do have quite gusty conditions. If we take a look at our weather bug network, we've had a 32-mile-per-hour wind gust in Trafalgar earlier this morning, 29-mile-per-hour winds in Westfield, 28-mile-per-hour wind gusts in Carmel and in Seymour. So it has definitely been very gusty, and that has allowed temperatures to remain in the upper 40s and low 50s across central Indiana. Check out Seymour, still at 52 degrees, 45 in Kokomo, with a little bit more of that snowpack still in store. Now, our satellite radar has shown that the clouds have started to move in and thicken up during the overnight hours. We do have a system off to our northwest. That is helping usher in those warm southerly breezes as well as those gusty conditions. And you can see we do have some rain and some freezing rain associated with this. So we are going to see these temperatures basically holding steady in the low 50s this afternoon. Not going to get up to the 55 where we got up to yesterday, but it's still going to be unseasonably mild. And notice Future Track 13 does bring a chance of a few scattered showers into the area as we head into the later hours this afternoon. I do think anytime after 12 noon there is a chance of some rain, but we'll see better chances as we head into the afternoon. I'll have more on the timing of that coming up in your SkyTrack 13 forecast.
New on Sunrise, 2 people were killed in a crash in Vermilion County. We're told it happened at the Broletts Creek Bridge on State Road 163 near Blandford, Indiana. A pickup truck left the road, struck a guardrail, and then hit a bridge abutment before launching into the air and slamming into the overhead bridge. Both passengers were ejected. 56-year-old Dennis Church died at the scene. His son, 24-year-old Dennis Church Jr., died at the hospital, and speed is considered a factor in this crash. A group that works in Indianapolis neighborhoods to stop violent crime is trying a new tactic, a message to teens from prisoners. The 10-Point Coalition just received a book written by prisoners from Pendleton's correction facility. The book is called Prison is for Real. One of the writers is just 18 years old and serving a life sentence without parole. The book's authors hope that the 10-Point Coalition will pass out copies to the young men they're meeting on their patrols in some of the city's most crime-ridden areas.
These kids really don't understand. This is not television. This is not a fairy tale. This is not a video game that these kids are playing. When you commit the kind of crimes that they're committing, this is real life, and these are the consequences of that kind of behavior. And I think we need to share this with these kids.
Reverend Harrison and the 10-Point members plan to make at least 100 copies of that book and start passing them out next week. We are learning more this morning about the father and teenage daughter murdered in Hartford City. The Blackford County coroner tells the Muncie Star-Press that 40-year-old Shane Williamson had been shot several times, and 14-year-old Caitlin Williamson died from a single gunshot wound to the head. The shootings happened Thursday at the Hartford Square Apartments. Police have an unnamed person of interest in custody now at the Jay County Jail. 6 people are dead, including several children, after a man opened fire in a suburban Atlanta neighborhood before turning the gun on himself. Police in Douglasville, Georgia, say the shooter appears to have targeted his ex-wife and his own family, including his children, who tried to run away. Horrified neighbors called 911. They tried to help the injured victims before rescuers arrived yesterday. A witness said one of the victims was a toddler. The man who sued after he was pushed over in his wheelchair by a Lafayette police officer is making new allegations in the case. Nicholas Kincaid sued the city and Lieutenant Tom Davidson after a police dash cam captured the incident in October of 2013. But the Lafayette Journal-Courier reports an amended complaint filed in federal court this week. It claims Lafayette police lacked training and says the city failed to punish misbehaving officers. The city's attorney says Lafayette will deny those allegations. If you live in the southern third part of Indiana and tried to make a phone call this weekend, you might have heard this.
It is now necessary to dial the area code plus the number to complete this call.
Starting yesterday, people in the 812 area code now need to dial 10 digits, even for local calls. Service providers will use 930 as the new area code for new numbers starting on March 7th. Some people may have been caught off guard by the change, but others have been getting ready.
I already programmed all that into my phone whenever I got it, like 6 months ago when it told me that we were going to get it. So I've been doing it ahead of time so I wouldn't have to worry about it.
Right now, the 812 area code covers southern Indiana, including Bloomington, Terre Haute, and Evansville. The 317 area code is expected to run out of numbers in 2016. State officials are already working on a plan to start a new area code here as well. We hope you've been enjoying the warmer weather this weekend. It sure has been a nice change, but we know it won't last.
Right. I know there was a lot of lines at local car washes all across central Indiana. Today, probably much of the same. The rain should hold off until later this afternoon. I'll have the timing on that, but check out these current temperatures. 49 degrees in Indianapolis, 43 in Lafayette, 52 in Seymour. Details coming up in your SkyTrack 13 forecast.
And Brian Williams steps away from the nightly news desk. When he's expected to be back and who's taking over in the meantime. Plus, Katy Perry's Dancing Shark takes a bite out of an artist's new idea. Coming up, why the singer's attorneys are now getting involved. Welcome back. Brian Williams announced this weekend that he is taking some time off from NBC Nightly News. Williams recently apologized for falsely saying on the air that he was hit in a helicopter, that he was in a helicopter hit by a grenade while in Iraq in 2003. In a note on NBC's website, Williams said he is temporarily taking himself off the broadcast for the next several days. Lester Holt will anchor Nightly News in the meantime. He addressed Williams' decision during last night's broadcast.
apologize.
A word tonight about our colleague Brian Williams, who you may know has been under scrutiny this past week over his recollection of certain stories he's covered. This afternoon, Brian issued a statement that says, in part, it has become painfully apparent to me that I am presently too much a part of the news due to my actions.
Coming up tonight on Nightly News,
date of Brian Williams' return has not been announced. The dancing sharks that stole some of the spotlight during Katy Perry's Super Bowl halftime show have taken a bite out of an artist's bid to sell small figurines of those sharks. After the stumbling and uncoordinated sharks became an overnight internet sensation, a Florida artist worked up a design of a 3-inch shark made with a 3D printer. The day after he began selling his creation on shapeways.com, he got a cease and desist letter from Perry's attorneys who demanded the shark's removal. The famous Westminster Dog Show is just about a week away, but before the Best in Show is crowned, you can see some top dogs right here in Indy. Today is the final day of the Hoosier Kennel Club's Winter Classic. The dogs are evaluated in part on their frame, muscle, tone, and hair. Competitors say it takes a true love of animals to show off their dogs across the country, and it takes a lot of time and dedication too.
It is an addiction because we get up way too early and break down late at night and get up for work. So it's really a love of what you're doing.
The dog show continues today from 8 to 5 at the State Fairgrounds. Tickets are $7. Kids 12 and under get in for free.
And it is a mild start all across central Indiana this morning. Check out these temperatures. It's currently 49 degrees in Indianapolis. We'll see a bit of a warm up today before a big temperature swing moves in. I'll have those details coming up in your SkyTrack 13 forecast.
Today we're going to be talking about how we can do preventative things to our drains so we don't have to use this so much.
Welcome back on this Sunday morning. Time now 7:14. That shot of downtown, just beautiful. The sunrise coming up there. A little bit of cloudiness still in the sky, but today should be another nice day before it goes downhill.
Absolutely. You know, yesterday it got up to 55 degrees, didn't break any records, but it was very mild, and it has been a bit windy this morning, but we'll take those windy conditions with these mild temperatures. Check out our 24-hour temperature change. It is 17 degrees warmer right now in Indianapolis than yesterday at this time. And check out Columbus, 20 degrees warmer in Columbus than yesterday at this time. It is currently 43 degrees in Lafayette, 49 in Indianapolis, 50 degrees in Bloomington, 52 in Seymour. And our HD Skycam starting to show the sun rising, and we do have an overcast sky. The winds have been sustained out of the southwest during the overnight hours, gusting up to 30 miles per hour. They're sustained right now at 15 miles per hour, so that southerly breeze definitely helping usher in some warmer air. The average high for today is 38 degrees, and today's record set back in 1937 of 68 degrees. It won't be broken today, but we're still going to see unseasonably warm temperatures climbing more than 10 degrees above average today. And then, of course, we are tracking temperatures to tumble by tomorrow. So take it all in today. We will see more clouds today than yesterday. A lot of beautiful sunshine yesterday, but this next storm system starting to push in a little bit closer. And as you can see here in portions of Iowa and Minnesota, starting to see that precipitation moving towards us to the southeast of that system. And this area of low pressure has that counterclockwise flow. So that has helped allow those southerly breezes to push in, but it's also causing some of those gusty conditions. Here's the cloud coverage this morning. I do think we'll stay dry throughout the morning hours, but notice that future track does bring in some scattered showers this afternoon. So temperatures today will be climbing into the low 50s this afternoon with winds out of the southwest from about 10 to 15 miles per hour. And we can still see some gusts around 20 to 25 miles per hour. Better chances of rain pushes in by later this afternoon, and it looks like our best chance of rain will actually be in our southeast central viewing area. The clouds stick around this evening. We may see a bit of a wintry mix of rain and snow as we head into the early morning hours tomorrow as colder air starts to filter in. So if we have any moisture left over, we will have a chance of seeing a rain-snow mix. So you'll want to check back with Sean Ash tonight, as well as Nicole and Chuck tomorrow morning. Temperatures fall to 28 degrees tomorrow morning with winds out of the west, and then they'll start to shift out of the north, and that will help usher in much colder air. Temperatures only climb to 34 degrees tomorrow afternoon. It will be a cloudy day and certainly more winter-like. Here's a look at your SkyTrack 13 forecast. High of 53 degrees this afternoon, and then temperatures tumble to 28 degrees early Monday morning. High of 34, dry for Monday afternoon. As we head into Monday night, temperatures fall to 19. Dry again, a little bit more sunshine on Tuesday with a high of 35 degrees. We are tracking a chance of rain on Wednesday, high of 40 degrees, and then much colder air starts to move back in on Thursday and Friday. Chance of a few flurries Thursday and Saturday, Valentine's Day. Naomi?
Kelly, thank you. Every Sunday, Pat Sullivan from Sullivan Hardware and Garden gives us great advice for do-it-yourself home improvements. Today, he talks about the importance of drain cleaning and the different ways to get it done.
Okay, it's week 5 of trying to figure out things to do before you can get outside and have a little fun outside. So this week, I thought we'd concentrate on drain cleaning, some of the smells around your house. I know you don't smell it, but when I come into your house, I smell it. And some of the things you have smell. So I thought we'd go through some of these drain cleaning things, some of the things to do, some of the things you know, when we have a clogged drain, the first thing people come into the hardware store, give me the strongest thing you have. Well, you know what? That's sulfuric acid. It's really dangerous. You pour it down, you know, because I know you're not reading the safety instructions about wearing safety goggles and gloves and all that stuff. It really is. Look, it comes in a plastic bag for a reason, for spillage. So I would rather you never use. I would, you know, now, do we sell it? Yeah, we sell it because we have to have it, but it's really not a product. What you want to do is you want to take care of those drains before it becomes an issue. So there's some great little tools I'll show you. But I think this is the key right here. This is an enzyme. It's kind of a preventative measure. Now, you wouldn't really use this if you have a full clog, but this is called Drain Care. There's several different brands on the market that you can find at different stores. But basically, what you do is you use this product, use it once a day for a week, once a week for a month, and then after that, you just use it monthly. Put it in your calendar, but it's 1 scoopful in a pint of warm water. For each drain, you just stir it up. It kind of looks like Metamucil for the drain. Ew, that's not a good thing, is it? All right, so you take that at night, you just pour it down each drain, whether it's the kitchen sink, the bathroom sink, the shower, you flush it down the toilet. If you do the toilet, don't use the toilet for 6 hours, so a good nighttime thing. So that will do more for your drains than any of this other stuff. Now, is there some cool stuff? Absolutely. This one right here, InstaFlow, we sell a ton of this. And the reason it's cool is because it bubbles and stuff, and like put hot water on it. But it does do, I mean, if you have a clog, nothing I prefer to do, but if you're looking for something, that InstaFlow does work pretty well. Mainly one of the biggest things is hair clogs. This thing right here, this is just a little pull tool. It's got these little sharp hooks on it. And because generally it's hair. So you take this is a bathtub, you just shove it down in here, whether it's a shower drain, and when you get a hold of it, it'll pull, and you'll hook the hairball, and that hairball will come out, and then what you do is you take it and then show it to the girls in the house. It's because it's pretty nasty. So this thing right here, $3 or $4, you need to have one of those. All right, other things you can do. If you have an older home that has clay tiles in it and you've had root problems in the past, do a preventative treatment. This is copper sulfate. So copper sulfate comes a couple different ways, but if you would use a teaspoon a day or say a tablespoon or two a week if you can't figure out how to do it, but there's a couple different ones. What you want is the fine grit. This one is not where you get into this heavier size. That's not the preventative treatment. So you want to make sure that you get this the kind of the powder or the granular form, but a teaspoon a day, you flush it down the can at night right before you go to bed. That will prevent all those root hairs from growing. Copper sulfate. So, but again, in a lot of stores, the only thing they're going to have is that. So make sure that you get the fine granule. Another little cleaning tool right here. This is what's kind of, they call it a plumber's blow bag. And so you hook it up to a faucet, so like obviously in the winter it's hard to do an outside faucet. But what this thing is, you shove it in the drain, it blows up, and what it does is it forces water through there and pushes the clog through. Very, very good tool. Sometimes it works, sometimes not, but I've had great success with it. The other thing, the smelly garbage disposal. So this is a little garbage disposal care, several different brands. The reason I like this one is because it foams and it's kind of cool looking. But you take this whole pack after you run some hot water in the drain, put this pack right down through there, leave the hot water running, turn it on. It'll kind of chew this whole thing up, but it eats away the rotten food in the disposal, and then maybe I'll come over to your house because your disposal doesn't smell.
All right, Pat, thank you. Well, still ahead on Sunrise, the Grammys will be handed out tonight. Coming up, which artists are predicted to walk home with the big award? Plus, a class ring returned decades after it was lost. How a ring found in central Indiana 22 years ago finally made its way back to its owner. Welcome back. Time now is 7:24. A music superstar versus a newcomer. That's what it may come down to for this year's top prize at tonight's Grammy Awards. Mike Wilbur has more on this year's top predictions.
It's a face-off between Grammy veteran Beyonce and newcomer Sam Smith. It's too close to call for Album of the Year, but Billboard's Joe Levy thinks Beyonce's surprise album release on iTunes may hurt her chances of winning.
It sold great, but the songs didn't get promoted to radio in the same way. Sam Smith is such a big story because new artist, and we're excited about his success. He's nominated in all 4 major categories.
And look for him to edge out Iggy Azalea for Best New Artist.
He's the perfect Grammy artist. He's young, he's new, but he sounds classic.
But he doesn't think Sam will win the highly anticipated Record of the Year.
It's between Sia and Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift is the easy choice. Sia is the smart choice. I'm looking for Grammy voters to be smart.
But while at the NBC Experience store, Joe told us he doesn't think Taylor will be taking home many statues.
Her single, Shake It Off, is nominated because it came out during the Grammy eligibility period. The rest of the songs, which have dominated the Billboard charts, came out after the Grammy eligibility period for this year, and so they will be nominated next year.
All eyes will certainly be on the performances. Madonna, Ariana Grande, Lady Gaga, and Tony Bennett, and many more will hit the stage when the Grammys air this Sunday.
The Grammy tradition of mixing the old and the young, certainly going to be upheld this year with Tony Bennett and Lady Gaga. And that's a Grammy performance I'm looking forward to.
Mike Wilbur, NBC News.
Well, this next story will definitely warm your heart. A 12-year-old girl with Down syndrome is letting her voice be heard. Many with the condition have voices described as gruff and low-pitched, but Madison strengthens her voice by singing. She recently posted this video to YouTube of her singing John Legend's All of Me.
'Cause all of me loves all of you. Love your curves and all your edges, all your perfect imperfections. Give your
So cool. In this touching video, the singer shares that she wants her cover to affect and inspire others. She is defying the odds. She's doing just that. The video has received more than 5.5 million views. Well, we are just 1 week away from Valentine's Day now, and businesses are hoping you will shop local. Coming up, why business owners think this year's romantic holiday will be more profitable than the last.
And it is mild all across central Indiana. Temperature in Indianapolis, 49 degrees, but check out Chicago down to 34. And we are going to see that colder air moving in, but you still have today to enjoy the mild temperatures. I'll have the details on that, as well as a chance of rain coming up in your SkyTrack 13 forecast.
There's concern about protecting your personal information this tax season, what you need to watch out for when filing your taxes.
Not as much sunshine today as the next storm system arrives, but it will be mild. I'll have the details on that, as well as our chance of rain coming up in your SkyTrack 13 forecast.
Roses are so nice. Let's hope it is weather-wise. Business wants no ice. A Valentine's haiku for you that describes the challenges of Valentine's last year, but businesses aren't expecting a great Valentine's this year. I'm Matt McCutcheon. I'll explain why coming up live on Sunrise.
From Indiana's news leader, Eyewitness News at Sunrise continues.
Good morning. Welcome back to Sunrise. Time now is 7:30 on your Sunday morning. Naomi Paskovitz here with Kelly Green. Matt McCutcheon. He just blows me away every time. That was perfect.
He's the best.
Yeah, he's talking about Valentine's Day today. We'll get back to him in a minute, but he's also talking about the weather, so let's get started with that.
Yes, a beautiful sunrise this morning and another mild start this morning. Temperatures climbing well above average once again. It has been breezy. As you can see, these gusts have been in the upper 20s and low 30s across our weather bug network. Trafalgar had a 32-mile-per-hour wind gust earlier this morning, and it will be a breezy day. That will keep those temperatures in the upper 40s and low 50s. 50 degrees right now in Bloomington, 47 in Greensburg, 43 in Marion. A little bit colder in our north central viewing area. Still has a bit of a snowpack on the ground, but a lot of that thawed out yesterday. The clouds have thickened up this morning, and it's all due to this area of low pressure still off to our northwest in portions of Minnesota as well as Iowa. All of that drifting to the southeast. So that will bring us a chance of rain later this afternoon. In the meantime, a pretty quiet and dry morning. Temperatures will be climbing back into the low 50s. Not as warm as yesterday. We got up to 55 degrees yesterday afternoon, but we'll still climb into the low 50s, well above average. We do have some chances of some rain later on this afternoon. Could happen anytime after 12 noon, but our better chances will be later this afternoon, especially in our southeastern central viewing area. I'll have more details about that coming up in just a few minutes. Naomi?
Kelly, thank you. New on Sunrise, no one was injured after a car caught fire early this morning in a Lawrence neighborhood. Fire officials say it happened just after 2 this morning in the 6400 block of Titania Drive on the city's east side. Now, a viewer shot this video of the SUV burning in the driveway. Investigators are now looking into what may have started that fire. There are new concerns for people trying to file their tax returns after one of the most popular tax services had to stop temporarily. We told you yesterday that TurboTax had to stop state filings after reports of fraudulent returns. We talked with Attorney General Greg Zeller in our studios yesterday. He says the fraudulent returns could be traced back to recent data breaches like those at Target, Home Depot, and Anthem.
This is really a fraud against the government. They file a tax return on your behalf. They get the money and make off with it. You'll eventually get your tax return.
Well, TurboTax says there were no issues with federal tax returns because the IRS has stronger fraud detection. The parent company Intuit says there was no breach to its system either. Marion County Democrats gathered this weekend for a pre-primary convention. Members of the Marion County Democratic Party selected endorsed candidates for the 2015 primary election. Among those on the ballot, Joe Hogsett. He's the only declared Democrat running for Indianapolis mayor. The former federal prosecutor says his relationships with local, state, and federal law enforcement will help in the mayor's office.
I think that kind of experience and those kinds of relationships will be able to put together the type of law enforcement that is worthy of the residents of the city of Indianapolis, that will help keep our streets safer and our city more prosperous.
In addition to mayor, there are also 25 city-county council offices on the ballot this year. Well, no one matched all 6 numbers in last night's massive Powerball drawing, so the jackpot keeps going up. This Wednesday's drawing will be worth an estimated $450 million. But you may have won a lesser prize in last night's drawing. We want to show you the numbers now. Those are 34, 58, 5, 21, 10, and the Powerball is 33. Again, next Wednesday's drawing now worth $450 million. Well, love is in the air. Valentine's Day is now less than a week away, and whether or not you've been hit with Cupid's bow, certainly hits businesses and our economy. Sunrise reporter Matt McCutcheon joins us live now from Mass Ave with the story, including a major event that caught all of us off guard last year. Matt, good morning.
Naomi, good morning. Love it or hate it, singled or partnered. Look, at the end of the day, Valentine's Day is a multi-million-dollar industry impacting businesses like Mesh right here on Mass Avenue. Last year, however, not as sweet for businesses. Mesh said they had about an 8% cancellation rate, all because of this snow, and plenty of it that fell Valentine's Day of 2014. Right at that Friday rush hour, roughly 5 inches of snow fell across central Indiana, impacting businesses like restaurants, which were down, as well as florists, which struggled to make sure all of the deliveries were out and were out on time. But even though the weather is expected to be a little better than last year, there's still a couple of major reasons why business is expected to be off this year.
This year it's on a Saturday, so it'll be about 20% down just because it's on a Saturday and people do other things, because women aren't at work on Saturday, so you know the big wow factor is gone.
Florists like Eagle Dale are hoping that all of the days leading up to Saturday will see an increase in men wanting to have roses delivered to women while they're at work to kind of restore that wow factor she mentioned. As for restaurants like Mesh here on Mass Avenue, they actually say that even though Valentine's is on Saturday, there's actually a different day of the week they hope that Valentine's Day would fall on, and that's Sunday. That's because they say it keeps the momentum going all weekend long, and Sunday puts a nice cap off to have even more people come out. But at the end of the day, Mesh is booked for Valentine's. In fact, they already have a wait list. Reporting live, Matt McCutcheon, Channel 13 Eyewitness News.
All right, Matt, thank you so much. Happy Valentine's Day.
Thanks, you too.
Well, if you lost something decades ago, would you ever think you'd find it again? That's what happened to one man 22 years after his class ring slipped off his finger in Nashville, Indiana, in a lumber yard. Kurt Altman now has his class ring back. It looks perfect. Decades ago, a 9-year-old boy in Brown County found it and gave it to his mom. Well, that woman, Beth Ham, put it in a drawer, but always hoped to find its owner. So recently, when she came across it, the legally blind woman asked her husband to do some research online. Then she mailed a letter to the man who lost it while he was living in Brown County 22 years ago.
Oh, I was going through my drawer again. I come across it, and I thought with technology the way it is now, you know, I told my husband, I said, won't you try to Google this guy's name?
That's one amazing thing about it, that she went through the effort. You know, she didn't pawn the ring off. She could have done that or sold it silver, and she was just a good-hearted person that wanted to make sure that I got a piece of my life of high school back. That was totally awesome that she did that.
Well, Kurt now lives in Chicago. He says the ring is in pristine condition, just like it was during his senior year at Thorntown High School in Illinois. He tells us he's going to be more careful now that he has it back. Gosh, I've lost so many little trinkets like that over the years. Maybe they're hiding somewhere in a lumberyard.
But I love how she says, just Google it.
Just Google it.
Yeah. Google wasn't around 20-some years ago.
You can find everything on Google now. Well, the forecast this weekend was really beautiful. Things will change, though, of course.
Of course, but we're definitely going to enjoy another spring-like day today. But we do have a chance of some rain. Here's a look at our weather bug networks right now. From Trafalgar at 47 degrees, 45 in Lafayette, 44 right now in Connorsville. We do have a big temperature swing on tap. I'll have those details coming up in your SkyTrack 13 forecast.
Plus, the NFL Combine is back in Indianapolis in just a few weeks, but another kind of combine this weekend puts kids on the field to show their skills. Welcome back. The NFL Combine is just a few weeks away here in Indianapolis. It brings about 4,000 people to the city with a multi-million-dollar impact. This weekend, however, wasn't about the competition, the money, or the exposure. Eyewitness News reporter Matt McCutcheon explains.
You're a lefty, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Aiden Spoor of Brownsburg looks like a typical 9-year-old boy.
Now put your other hand on top of the ball, like right there.
But the fact is, for 2 years, he's been sick, very sick.
If he spikes a fever or if he starts, displaying symptoms of being sick, it's definitely scary because we don't know. Because that's basically what leukemia is. It's a disease that affects his immune system, affects a lot of things.
Saturday, the focus shifted from his cancer battle to a battle with his favorite sport.
There it is!
Aiden is one of several cancer patients from Peyton Manning Children's Hospital. For the second year, they got the chance to spend time with NFL hopefuls along with his brother Grady.
We drive by this and they're like, oh my gosh, remember that last year when we were there and we got to meet all those players? And we've had a couple of players that have actually gone on to the NFL and have followed him on Facebook. So it's been kind of a neat experience.
Among the college players,
put a little bit to your left. Oh, almost.
There's Matt Dooley, a long snapper at IU.
Honestly, I just woke up this morning so excited, just for the opportunity to give back.
He knows this experience.
Try throwing it like you throw with your left hand.
Is one they'll remember just as much as he will.
It just fills your heart with joy. You've been given this platform to play the sport that you love and the talent to be able to do it. And so to be able to use that to just make one kid's day better, he won't forget that. Just because you gave him a high five and said, hey, how's it going? Or signed his shirt or something like that. Honestly, as an athlete, you get more out of it than they do.
The relationships made here show the humanity of the sport and gives children like Aiden and his family a chance to forget about cancer.
I'm so happy to have another brother.
Aww.
Matt McCutcheon, Channel 13.
I'll congratulate a Boilermaker.
Eyewitness News.
Well, New England is about to get hit with another major winter storm. People in Boston just finished digging out from the last snowstorm, which dumped 2 feet or more in some areas. The National Weather Service has issued another winter storm warning for all of Massachusetts. It will be in effect through early Tuesday morning. 12 to 24 inches of snow has been forecasted. Flurries will become heavier in the overnight hours tonight and are expected to continue through tomorrow. Wow. Quite a different scene here. We have just had a very dry, relatively mild winter.
Yes, we have, especially in comparison with last year where we had record snowfall. We are not tracking snow actually until late tonight. We do have a chance of some light snow, but in the meantime, the mild spring-like conditions continue again today. Here's a look from our Greenfield cam. And you can see no snow on the ground there and just a beautiful sunrise. A lot more cloud coverage in Kokomo, and we do still have some trace amounts of snow there, but really the snow depth took a huge beating yesterday with those warm southwesterly breezes and all of that sunshine. And it is still very mild all across central Indiana. It's currently 45 degrees in Kokomo, 47 in Greensburg, 51 degrees in Seymour, and our HD Skycam showing this beautiful sunrise this morning. Currently 49 degrees and winds are out of the southwest. Check it out. 15 miles per hour. So that is a pretty fast sustained winds for this hour. And we are going to see another mild day thanks to those southerly breezes. On average, our high today around 38 degrees. Today's record not even going to come close to it. Check this out, 1937, 68 degrees. That's pretty impressive, but we're still going to be well above average today, running more than 10 degrees above average. But we are tracking a temperature tumble for tomorrow, and I'll have those details coming up in just a few minutes. And as we look here at our satellite radar, the clouds have really thickened up this morning, so that's helped put a lid on those temperatures. We've basically been holding steady in the upper 40s. We do have an area of low pressure off to our northwest. That will slowly drift into the area as we head into the later hours this afternoon. So we have this area of low pressure. It is spinning counterclockwise, helping usher in that warm southwesterly breeze, and we'll see the clouds sticking around this morning, but it should be dry through the morning hours. Anytime after 12 noon, we could see some light scattered showers moving in. Temperatures, though, climbing into the low 50s this afternoon. The winds will still be sustained between 5 and 15 miles per hour with a high near 53 degrees. As we head into the evening hours, we'll start to see better chances of rain, especially in our southeastern viewing area. any leftover moisture could change over from rain to snow, mainly late tonight into early Monday morning. So we could see a bit of a wintry mix. You'll want to check back with Sean Ash tonight and again with Chuck and Nicole tomorrow morning for sunrise, as we may see a bit of some slick conditions for your commute tomorrow morning. Winds will be out of the west tonight. Temperatures fall to 28 degrees, but really not going to see much of a warm up tomorrow. Winds will be out of the north from 10 to 15 miles per hour, and temperatures only climb to 34 degrees, actually running a few degrees below average. So here's a look at your SkyTrack 13 forecast. High of 53 degrees this afternoon in Indianapolis. Temperatures fall to 28 tomorrow morning. High of 34 on Monday. We stay dry until Wednesday, where we are tracking another chance of rain. Naomi?
Kelly, thank you so much. We are just 1 week away now from Valentine's Day, and while all of us want to spoil our sweeties, there are ways to do it without breaking the bank. And Sherry Lowe, the queen of free, is here to tell us more about some advice that could be more meaningful, some ideas. Can we start with the food, because women care most about that?
Well, certainly, you know, it is totally fine to splurge and to spoil those people that you love, but not to go off budget. So let's talk about some ways that you can practically save money and that you can still really show your love this Valentine's Day. And the first one being choose lunch over dinner. Very simple switch. You can still go to your very favorite restaurant, but go at lunchtime, especially if you have school-age kids. This will save you on the sitter cost, and the menu prices are much lower too.
And since it falls on a weekend this year, folks might not be working, so lunch could be a good option.
Sure,
but if you don't want to go out to eat, you can also make dinner.
Yes, and this is a very easy and fun thing, and you can actually splurge, buy some things at the grocery store that you wouldn't normally buy. So that fancy cheese or that steak or even lobster, and you know, still save money over what you would pay at a restaurant. Put the kids to bed, cook dinner together, make it a romantic evening, and have a good time.
And one thing the kids always like to do is go pick up those boxes of Valentines that are themed, like Frozen or something like that. But you have another idea.
So there are so many free printable Valentines out there, and in fact, I printed several off of the internet today. They're
So
adorable, right? So very, very easy switch, and I have those linked out on Queen of Free today. You can get on Pinterest very quickly and find just a myriad of wonderful Valentines, totally free. Print them out at home.
And what about decorations? Those can cost a lot too.
Yes, decorations there as well. And you know what? After Valentine's Day, it is the perfect time to pick up those red items on clearance. And so if you go and hit the aisle, those items will be great for any holiday, if they're, especially if they're solid red. So whether it's Christmas or it's the 4th of July, solid red reusable items like platters and baskets and bowls are perfect this time of the year.
Any last minute gift ideas?
Oh, you know, I think that everybody loves flowers. Maybe you can go a little off the normal trek and like buy flowers to plant, or flowers that are long-term instead of cut flowers. Get living, you know, plants that will last longer. Obviously local things are always best. And don't forget that you can go the day after Valentine's Day and pick up all of those things for a fraction of the price.
Yeah, depending on what your sweetheart thinks about being a day late on that one. Well, Sherry, thank you so much for coming in. We always appreciate it. And as always, we post all of the information that Sherry just shared with you on our website. Just look for a link under the Hot Topics page of our website. Sherry, thank you so much.
And I'm Jason Spells. Coming up, a full recap of all the action yesterday on the hardwood. Butler, Purdue, and we're also talking about Indy. You don't want to miss any of that coming up in sports. Good morning. Columbus North basketball standout Josh Spidell remains in critical but stable condition nearly a week after he was involved in a serious car accident in Bartholomew County. While he continues to battle on a bed at IU Health's Methodist Hospital, his team and the community continues to support him.
Josh, what's up, man? It's Paul George. We're praying for you here. Stay strong. I hope you can fight through it. I know you'll get back healthy.
Josh Strong continues to be the inspiration and for his team and for Central Indiana. The Pacers with a video tribute to Spidell. Third game of the Hoosier Invitational yesterday, Columbus North and East Central over at the Fieldhouse. Matt Schumann with the bucket there. This one would go back and forth, tied after one. The three would keep Columbus in it, but the Trojans executing in crunch time. East Central hands the Bulldogs their third straight loss, 58-56. Just 1 month remains in the Big East season. We still have no idea who will win the regular season crown. The Butler Bulldogs came into the weekend tied with Providence for second in the conference. A half game up on Georgetown and a half game back of Villanova. 4 teams each with a legitimate shot with the Big East crown in sight. Butler needed to knock off DePaul to keep pace at the top of the Big East. Alex Barlow, one of the best defenders in the conference, still pitch ahead to Cam Woods. He throws it down. Butler up 7 in the first half. Kellen Dunham, one of the better scorers in the conference, one of the better scorers for the Dogs this season. Team high 24 points, 4 3-pointers. Butler up 19 at the break. Second half, the Blue Demons put together a run of their own, cutting the Butler lead to 5. Roosevelt Jones ends the rally right there and 120 for him. Butler wins its 5th straight, 83-73. Big reason for the W yesterday, the play of the elder statesman.
This time of year, in a lot of cases, if your team's ready to play, it's really because of your older guys. It really is. If they're not ready to play, it's probably the coach should take some responsibility for that and the older guys. But if they're ready to play, most times it's your older guys that have made the group prepare the right way and have the right approach and right mindset. And I think we were ready to play.
There's no place like home in the Big Ten. The top 6 schools have combined to lose just 3 home games in conference play. Purdue, well, the Boilermakers are tied for second in the B1G. 5 of their 7 conference wins coming at Mackey Arena. Purdue 2-2 on the road, and guess what? At Minnesota yesterday. AJ Hammonds, dominant for the Boilermakers throughout their 4-game win streak. Throws it down, authority and 1. Go ahead and dap the boys after a play like that. Purdue up 4 at the break. Gophers put together a massive second half run, opened up a double-digit lead. Giannakis helps cut that lead. Less than a minute to go. Boilermakers down 2. Coach Painter drew this up. Perfect shot for Kendall Stevens, except for its block. Coach Painter thinks a foul should be called. Clearly, they disagree there. And Purdue loses for the first time in nearly 2 weeks. Final 62-58. The University of Indianapolis opened the season 17 straight wins, lost their last 2. Hall of Fame weekend. Greyhounds hosting Maryville, getting back to their winning ways. Joe Lawson, Washington High product, game high 20. Time running out right before the half. Lucas Barker to Eric Davison, good. His 4th 3-pointer of the half. Indy up 9 at the break. Second half, they run away with it. 2-game skid over. University of Indianapolis wins it. Final of this one, 77-50. Still to come, a big day today. IU and the Indiana Pacers both in action. We will have highlights and reaction coming up at 6 and on the Sports Jam.
Jason, thanks. Here's a look at what's coming up at 9 o'clock on Sunrise. The 10-Point Coalition has a new weapon in its fight to keep kids off the street. We'll tell you more about that game-changing book they hope will scare troubled teens straight. Plus, miss out on the polar plunge at Butler last week? There's another opportunity to take an ice-cold dip for a great cause. We'll tell you when. And this weekend would have been a really great weekend for a polar plunge because it would have been rather comfortable, but that's going to change.
That's right. We are going to enjoy one more day of those spring-like temperatures before winter returns. We are also tracking a chance of rain, but it is very mild right now at 48 degrees in Indianapolis, 46 in Greensburg, 45 in Richmond, and 45 in Kokomo. This afternoon, rain chances do move in, especially by late afternoon. High of 53 degrees this afternoon, and then temperatures begin to tumble down to 28 early tomorrow morning, 34 for Monday. We do have the potential of a wintry mix early Monday morning. You'll want to check back with Chuck and Nicole tomorrow morning on Sunrise for your morning commute for that, and then we stay dry for a couple of days.
Yeah, what a nosedive in the temps, though, when you look at 50s today, and then we're back into the 20s next week. Well, that's the way it goes. We will be back at 9 o'clock after the Today Show with more news and weather. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you then.